Well, this is the start of day 2. I'm just leaving Upper Boddington behind me, and the first thing I've noticed already is that after the recent rains we've had, the ground is extremely boggy in places, so it's going to be a lot muddier than the last time I walked. It's about 12 miles again today, and I'm going to end up in a village called Itchington, and hopefully there won't be any rain, but we'll have to see about that.
I'm not expecting much in the way of drama today, or indeed great physical effort. It ought to be a relatively flat 12 miles of mainly agricultural land, although I do know there'll be a visit to a couple of canals along the way. At some point, I'll pass from Northamptonshire into Warwickshire.
I don't know what that is, that tower, but it dominates the skyline. It must be easily, I don't know, 400 foot high. Looks like some kind of radio mast on steroids. So when I get home, I'm going to go on the internet, find out what it is.
Well, according to the internet, this structure that I was on about is called the National Lift Tower, known locally as the Northampton Lighthouse, and it was designed as a lift testing facility, apparently the only one in the country. It was opened by the Queen in 1982, and it's the youngest Grade 2 listed building in the UK, and it's still in use, but has diversified from lift testing. It's also popular for charity abseiling. And you know what? I said it was about 400 foot high. It's 418 foot high. Good old Google.
Well, so far so good really. It's been pleasant enough. It's all meadow and a few sheep pastures, but no cows so far. And I did manage to get lost, quite badly lost actually. I don't know how I managed it. Ended up in a really small village which I should never have been in, but I managed to find my way back out. Sacrificed a half a mile of field walking for a half a mile of road walking, which, given the way things have grown over the last few weeks since my last walk, probably no bad thing. So it's been muddy and it's been overgrown, but really enjoyed it. Actually, it's not as hot or sunny as the last time I did the walk, and that's probably better for me. Just do with a bit of a breeze. But you can see that's pretty much really what I've been walking along for the last hour, or perhaps to translate that into distance, perhaps 2 or 3 miles now. I'm always ambitious with that, so it's probably less than that. It's probably about a mile, but I'm sure it's somewhere in between. And my next stop is a small village whose name escapes me, and then I'll see what time it is and think about dinner, or just carry on. Well, strictly speaking, I'm trespassing now. I tried to take a detour. There was literally a field full of cows and calves again, and the usual thing, you know, running into your space, and then they wouldn't move, and it was a standoff. And really, I don't want to antagonise the cows and the calves any more than I have to. It's not just about me. So I thought, take the next field along, which I did, and then I had to nip through somebody's farm to get out again. I'm on the drive now, so pretty soon I'm back en route. I don't think anyone saw me. Well, I've got to the village of Marston after crossing lots of fairly shitty cow fields, has to be said. Just taking a breather. A real bad case of stitch back there. Hang on a minute. Okay. Yeah, had a real bad case of stitch halfway across one of the meadows. I might have been panicking trying to get across them too fast, but I had to stop. I'm fine now.
I was in and out of Prior's Marston in 5 minutes flat. A tiny place, but full of birdsong.
It's a nice little track that I've just come onto. I believe I'll be following this for a while. Not sure, it looks like some sort of bridleway. Ah, well, there's a clue there. It does say public bridleway. So I think I'll go that way. I think that's right. Well, I did say I like bridleways back there, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining again, but this isn't very easy. It's just, it goes on actually, it's just muddy. And the weird thing is, only the top couple of inches that are slippy. It's firm under that. So it's a bit like walking on like ice. It's hard going. You can see the state of my feet. There's bound to be a meadow up ahead where I can clean them off, but having said I like bridleways, I'll actually be quite glad when this bit's over. Not that I'm moaning. Well, that was the end of the bridleway, but oh, it was muddy. If you're going to do this walk after a prolonged spell of rainy weather like we've just had, just be prepared. I mean, it's really very, very muddy. I'm that muddy now, I'm actually embarrassed about going into a pub. I don't think I'll be able to. Well, you know, look. Unless I can clean that off when I get to the canal, I can't walk into a pub like that. So anyway, we're past it, and that's the village of Napton in the distance, I think. I'm not sure if I actually go through it or just round the edge of it, but I think the canal section is just after Napton, and I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. Nice bit of straight canal walking, be quite pleasant. Well, as you can see, I'm now on the canal. I don't know what canal it is. It's the one by Napton. I shall have to tell you later via the magic of voiceover. Napton Canal? I don't know. As a guess. Probably totally wrong. And I follow this now for a mile or so, so at least I can't get lost. Bit of field walking, back on the canal again, and then it's practically end of journey. I've just had a half an hour break. I've had to change my socks because today's been so wet and muddy that I was in danger of getting trench foot. Luckily I bought some spare, and I must remember to do that in future. Useful thing to do. So I do pass a pub somewhere on this canal. I'm sorely tempted to try and go in and have a pint, but one, it's not really as hot a day as it could be. It's not really sitting outside pint weather. And two, I did mention earlier I've got very shitty trousers on, so I don't know, see how I feel.
Well, this is actually the Oxford Canal, which is 78 miles in length and links Oxford to Coventry via Banbury and Rugby. Built in the late 18th century, it became a highly profitable route for canal barges carrying coal and iron ore to the Midlands. But these days, it's the pleasure boats that dominate. The canal twists and turns its way past Napton Hill at this point, and it's often considered to be one of the most scenic canals in Britain.
Well, finally I've arrived at Stockton, which is the penultimate village of the walk today, after crossing several very large fields of wheat in the sunshine, which wasn't unpleasant. I don't think there's much more to do now. somewhere around here is the next bit of canal walking, and then Long Itchington, I think, and that's it. They've all been very quiet places that I've passed through today. Even this one, which is a little bit more modern, a bit larger, it's hardly bustling. I've just been edging my way down the side of woodland. Again, quite muddy and slippy, not as bad as the bridleway though. Having just left the village of Stockton, and I'm looking for the canal. Have you seen it? Because I can't find it. They keep telling me it's down there, but I'm starting to not believe them. Well, we'll see.
The second canal of the day. This time it's the Grand Union, running from London to my hometown of Birmingham and stretching for over 200 miles. A relatively new concept, the Grand Union Canal in its current form came into being in 1929 via an amalgamation of several different canals. I walked just a short section of it as it led me into Long Itchington and Journey's End.
Ah, hooray! Long Itchington. I'm nearly there. I've just done another little bit of canal walking, and I reckon I've probably got about a mile left now. I'm getting some funny looks. I just had to walk past a rather nice pub, canal side pub down there, looking like this. Kind of looks like I've had a terrible accident, doesn't it? But anyway, day 2 nearly done, so there you are. Not much grumbling today, done my best. See you later. Well, that's it then. When I got to the village of Long Itchington, which is where I am now, the end of my day's walk, I came out by the church on the high street, and I had a choice. I could have gone right or left, and I couldn't quite remember where I'd left my car, so it was a 50-50 and I went left. And guess what, it was the wrong way, and it was probably a 10-minute detour to go 5 minutes down the road to realise I was wrong, to come back. And then when I went the other way, the car was literally like 50 yards down the road. I could have seen it if I'd have craned my head round the corner. So that was a nice cherry on the cake at the end of the day's walk. But yeah, I'm tired, but I've done it. That's probably more than 12 miles because I had a couple of detours and I wiggled about a bit. Sorry, I wiggled about a bit. So yeah, 13 maybe, 13 and a half. And yeah, my legs are feeling it. I'm not what I used to be. But that's day 2, and day 3 is next. So I look forward to that, and I'll see you then. Bye.